is now being recorded.
All right, good. So you're supposed to say your message before I say that it is being recorded. All right, wonderful. So we'll be starting with our SBA, right? So we're starting with the spreadsheet section of the SBA, right? So let us open the SBA that I sent to you. All right, let's confirm for me. Are you seeing the SBA sheet in front of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. All right, so this is the SBA. This is just a spreadsheet part of it. I know it looks long, but it's very simple. A lot of it is repetitive. All right, so we'll start off up top with a description of the project. So the hotel that you manage would like to upgrade the information system, right? An information system is a computer-based system that a corporation or company or organization might use, right? So they want to upgrade the system in order to improve the business operation. The following application involves, and this is a spreadsheet, so this is the entire spreadsheet. They start out by saying that the spreadsheet will be used to enter reservation details as well as calculate payments based on the number of visitors and the package they choose. All right, so we know that with a hotel, with a resort, a hotel of any kind, they do reservations. All right, so reservations are for persons who are coming to the hotel, and they will tell you how much of them coming, and they will tell you when they're coming and when they want to leave. And based on that, you can put them in a room and you can calculate how much money they need to pay for the whole time or whatever the case is. So this is basically what this is about. We are collecting some information about some guests for a resort, and they're going to tell us the amount of detail, the information, when they're coming, when they're leaving, what kind of payment they want to make, how much of them coming, and then based on that, we put them in a particular room and then we charge them, right? So, and then what you're learning in this SBA, suppose you can transfer out to any business operation. So, for example, when you leave high school, you might start a business. If you want to start a business, you can use spreadsheet now to help you to gather your information for your business and to as well ensure that you are making a profit. If you're not making a profit, you can say, oh, you're not making a profit. Then you can do a lot of things. So that's the purpose of this SBA, is to prepare you for the outside world. When you want to start your own business or you get a job to work with somebody that already have a business going. All right. So this form that you see in front of here so is what we call the traditional paper-based form. This is will be a printout. If you go somewhere and they ask to fill out this form and you do a printout, which is old school, you know. So if they are introducing a computerized system now, they don't want the customers to have to come in and take out them pen and fill out this form or whatever the case is. They want to have a spreadsheet where they can call in advance and give us information and we create it for us, right? So the old form, all of this right here says the old form. So the old form had on it some information. So it asks for the name, it asks for the address 1, it asks for whether this person is a doctor, professor, Mr., Mrs., or Miss. It asks for the telephone number, the number of nights staying, the check-in date, check-out date, number of adults, number of children, and room type. That is what this form was asking for, and a region, right? That's what this form was asking for. The task 1, which I asked you to do in advance, the task 1 said that create a spreadsheet to allow you to capture the data from the sample reservation sheet provided above. Use appropriate formatting feature to enhance the presentation of your sheet. Insert data for 30 reservation transactions. Add any additional fields that you feel might make your chart more appropriate. All right, so when all of that is said and done, you should end up with a sheet that looks like this. All right, so from this, I had the title for Mr. and Mrs. Professor or whatever. Then I had, I hope you're seeing this. If you're not seeing it, you're supposed to can zoom in on the screen, on your screen, if you're using a phone or a tablet. Right, that might be a little bit smart. So you can zoom in from your side and you're supposed to can see. All right, For the names, I separated the names into first name and last name, right? On the form, it just said names. But for intrinsic purposes, when you're trying to capture person's information, you want to separate the names. So you put first name, last name, separated. My telephone number, bear in mind, people, when you're creating this information, you're just making up random data, right? To put in the data for the SBA, random data. So you don't have to use real telephone numbers. I'm not going to call these numbers but they exist. All right. So yes, we have here so some 876, some 204, some 415 error code, whatever the case is. It means here and there. I just want to see that it's formatted properly. So I just want to make sure say have the bracket and it have the dash and it's formatted properly. That's my main concern. Right? For the region, there is Jamaica, North America, South America, and Europe. Right? These regions were shown in the SBA right here, so right. So apart from the task 1 up here, so task 2, below task 3, there was a set of information here that would have been useful for you to help you populate your spreadsheet, right? So it's that visitors would arrive from North America, which is NA, South America, Europe, and locally Jamaica. So these would have been your regions. Good. The amount of persons in the group may range from 1 to 7 guests, right? So no more than 1 to 7 guests. So that means is that if you can have 2 adults and 2 children, 1 adult and 1 child. You can have 1 adult alone if you want. But when you add up the 2 of them, you're not supposed to get more than 7. That's what this is telling you. So you can have 2 adults and 5 children, but you can have 2 adults and 6 children. Go over the 7. So that's what this is telling you here, right? And it's telling you that there should be no more than 3 adults. So no matter what the combination you use, you can't have more than 3 adults there, right? With all paying visitors tax of 12.75%. All right. Visitors will be placed based on the number of visitors in the group. They will be placed on the number of visitors in the group. So if they're staying, so these are the name of the rooms that they're staying in. So it will be Studio Suite SS for up to 2 guests, which will cost 12,000 per adult and 5,000 per child. There will be Deluxe Suites DS for up to 5 guests, which will cost 15,000 for adults and 5,000 per child. And there will be Executive Suites for up to 7 guests, which will cost 17,000 per adult and 7,000 per child. So what that means is that if they are 3 guests in all, your spreadsheet is supposed to can determine which room they should stay in automatically. So if you look at this, would they stay in the suite, the studio suite, the deluxe suite, or the executive suite if it's 3 guests? So you see that the studio up to 2 guests and the deluxe suite is up to 5 guests. So it means that your spreadsheet is supposed to can automatically say how much people stay in there, 3 guests, all right, they must go in the deluxe suite. Right? That is the purpose and the point of automating things. So it gets done for you. So you don't have to slow down and figure it out. You just want to put in information and the computer is supposed to calculate what everything is for you. All right? So that's the purpose. Right? And there's some other information here that we'll get back to shortly. But that's just the startup. Right? So from this year, so we need the name of the regions. These are the name of the regions. So you can put in North America if you want, or you can put in any. Your decision. That's up to you. If you want to put the full North America, or you just want to put any for North America, that's up to you. Remember the guests and remember the rooming names. All right. So for my one that I did, I just type NA, SA, JA for Jamaica, North America, South America, and Europe. All right. All right. Number of nights. All right, the number of nights should be based on the date you check in and the date you check out. Right? Remember, I said to you, we're automating things, so we don't want to have to be doing things manually, even though we're doing it on the computer. So anything we can calculate automatically, we will find a way to get it done. So if you know that you on 25th of August, and we know that you check out on the 31st of August, instead of sitting down to say 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31 for say 6 days. We don't have time for that, right? Remember, we're computer students, right? So we want to automate it, right? So we need to make sure that we can put in a formula here so that can automatically calculate that for us, right? So in the formula here, so for the number of nights, I could have said equal, this is a formula, right? So this is one of the formulas you should be using. Bear in mind, you get marks for the formulas that you use, right? You're going to get marks for the functions that you use. Formulas are the basic one, we just say equal this cell time that cell. The functions are like equal sum, equal max, equal min. If statements and Vlookup, those are the functions that we'll be using as well. So this is also one of the formulas. So for this one, we can say equal the checkout date, which is H5, column H, row 5. So it's H5. So we're looking at the cell right here, so right? So it is going to be equal H5, which is the checkout date, minus G5, which is the check-in date. So if you have a checkout date and minus the check-in date, you're supposed to end up with the amount of days that they spend. So if I press enter now, I should say 6, which is exactly what comes up here. So the 6 here so shows that I minus the checkout date, the check-in date from the checkout date, and I end up with 6. If you do it and you get a negative number, it means that you need to switch it around. It means that you're minusing the check-in date from the checkout. It means that you're minusing the checkout date from the check-in date when you should be doing it the other way around. All right? So let me do that for you again. I'm using the second line, using row 6. All right? So we're saying check the number of nights. So we want to say equal checkout date, which in this case is H6, minus the check-in date, which is G6. I enter, and I get 4. So I mean that is 4 nights that this person stayed. All right. I want it automated because a lot of times when we're doing these things, we make mistakes. So sometimes we might miss one night, and in any business, if you miss one night, if you accidentally type 5 here, so that is one whole night that the visitor not going to pay for, or whose salary that going to come out of that will come out of your salary, right? So you can't afford to make those mistakes. So we automate things, right? We find a way to use functions and formulas to make life easier. So we just drop in the formulas and they work for us. They do the job for us. So we don't have to keep on doing it over and over for ourselves. All right. Payment method can be cash, credit card, debit card. I also have one here called compulsory pass. This is like a free pass that this person could have gotten. So you can use any of these if you want. You can just use cash and debit card and credit card alone if you want, or you can add in the complimentary pass. If you know another payment method that you want to use, you can also put it in as well. All right, moving over. Number of adults, I can see I have 2, 1, some of them 2, some of them 1. You understand? A number of children, all of them 2. Let me make this a little bit different because I was lazy when I was typing it, so some of them maybe for this, so the same things over. Let's change some of these. All right. I'll remember that. So remember that when we add up all of this, we're not supposed to pass 7, right? If you add up the adults and the children, you're not supposed to pass 7. And then the room type now, the room type is going to be based on number of persons in the group. Yeah. So to make this easier now, before we can determine the room type, we need to first identify how many persons are in the group. And I don't want you look at it and say 5 and 2, 2 and 3 make 5, right? That's not the purpose. We need to automate it again. So what we need to do is insert another cell right here, so between the room type and number of children, you can just go up to the L right here, so you can insert, right click, insert another row. And we can call this number of visitors, right? Our total total number of visitors. The total number of visitors is going to be equal to number of children plus, sorry, number of adults plus number of children. So this will be J5 plus K5, and that will give us a total number of visitors here, so which is 5. So we could have done it like that. Let me make that part still on so you see what we're doing. I could have done it like that, or I could have said equal sum open bracket J6. So we're adding J6 to K6. Come on. Close bracket. So either out of the, any one of these two ways I write it, it could be fine. So if you use this method and go all the way down, it's fine. If you use the equal sum and go all the way down, it's fine as well. Right? At the end of the day, you're going to get the same results. Get that? So it shouldn't matter. All right. So now you see I have in all of the totals. 2 adults, 5 children, 7. And I'm looking and I'm satisfied because I know that there's no more than 7 people in any of these persons here, so right, which is fine, which is exactly what we wanted. So now we can calculate now the room type, because we say that the room type is based on the number of persons in the room. So what I've gone ahead in advance and done is I've created down at the bottom of the sheet down here, so I've created a key sheet. You see this key? Created a key sheet here, so on this key sheet I have put in all of the information that I want to do all of my calculations. So already I put out the name of the rooms, the locks. Pick out this new room. Don't want this new room. All right, so I have deluxe, executive, and studio. Deluxe, executive, and studio, the DS, ES, and SS. And I have some prices. I'm not sure if these prices match what I have on the SBA, but for your purposes, make sure that you put in the prices that are on the SBA itself. All right, so these prices could be off. So bear that in mind. Don't watch my prices. Use the prices that are on the SBA. All right. Remember that they said that was a tax. There was a tax of 12.75%, and there was a discount for 7.25% as well. Right? So I'm putting all of this on a key sheet around here. So this is to help me in that each time when I'm creating a formula, I don't have to keep on typing back deluxe suite or executive suite, and I don't have to keep on typing back 15,000 or 7,000. I can just refer to the cell. So instead of saying deluxe suite, I can just say A5. Instead of saying studio suite, I can just say A7. You get that? Or the room code, I can just say DS or SS, whichever way you want to use it. All right, so look at this now. So here, so you can see we have the key sheet down here, so, and we have the main sheet down here, so. So if I put the cursor over the sheet 1 right here, so, and I right click on my mouse, I can rename it. And I want to name the sheet Reservation 1. Right, so that when I go through, I can distinguish between each sheet. All right, let me take a moment and pause and ask. Anybody have any question? Everybody following so far?
Yes, sir.
Nobody have any question? Everybody good with our reach so far? Everybody following everything so far? All right, wonderful, wonderful.
Sir.
All right, so let's move on. Yeah. Yeah, man, talk. Who's talking? All right.
So, last year we can use like any font, but it not to be like if it can be like one like that. No.
When I hear the question, if it can be used what? Talk again. If you can use what?
Sure, like what
You break up, okay? You keep on coming and coming. So then I hear where I say clearly. What are the money? If you can type it in the chat, there's that part where you can type in the chat. See if you can type a question in that chat part right so. Alright? Alright. So for this part now, I advise to get a pen and a paper because when I write down something because you're going to be using it. I'm going to introduce it to a function. I don't know if Miss Clausen did it, but I have to introduce it to it here. So when you write down this function, so get a paper and a pen or a pencil, quick, and write this down so that when I give it to you, you know if you use it from now on, right? All right, ready? Hope you have a pen. So let's try this. So we want information to come in here so for the room type, right? Based on the number of visitors I have here, so right? And we see that we already have that information around here, so in the key. That's all. So we have the deluxe suite, executive suite, and the studio suite. And we see that if it's 2 or less, they go in the studio. If it's 5 or less, they go in the deluxe. And if it's a 2, correct. So up to 2 guests go in the studio suite. Up to 5 guests go in the deluxe. And up to 7 guests go in the executive suite. Let's see if we let them, but they're not about there. So. One second, one classmate asked me. All right. So we're going to put in a formula here. So you ready to write this down? So we're going to switch between the key sheet and the reservation sheet. So you have to watch it. While you have to write it down, you have to watch what I'm doing, right? Because I'm going to be using the information from around here, so on the sheet, on the main sheet, right? So I'm saying equal if open bracket. All right, make sure you write this down. Equal if open bracket. So it's saying equal if open bracket if L5, which is the total number of visitors, if L5 is less than or equal to 2, comma. So what this is doing is I'm asking a question. I'm saying if L5 is less than or equal to 2, comma, then I'm going to put in what I want it to display. So I'm going to go to the key sheet now, and I want it to display studio suite. And I can go comma again, and I can say if open bracket L5 less than or equal to 5, comma, then I want it to say deluxe suite, which is in A5 here, so. And then I'm saying, comma again. I don't have to put that next one. So if it's not studio and it's not deluxe, then it must be this. So I can just say else it must be key 6. Alright? Alright. So this now you have to go just follow me though and try to understand it, because I am hoping that Miss Clausen did alright, let me just ask you, did Miss Clausen do if statement and VLOOKUP in class with you? Microsoft Excel?
No, sir.
Alright,
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
so that's the problem. Because what would I helpful with this is if you didn't know the knowledge before and you see me ability to understand it better. But I'm sure you look on this right now and it look confusing too. And I understand. So they're gonna do it a couple times. They're gonna do it a couple times to make sure you understand it. But wait for though, make sure you write it at the same time. Alright? So let me break down what we're looking at here. So we're looking at an if statement. An if statement is a function that allows us to do something based on a criteria. So if I come in this room and I say, if the temperature is warm, that is the if statement. If the temperature is warm, then I can do one out of two things. I can do something if it's warm, and I can do something if it's not. So if it's warm, I can turn on the AC. If it's not warm, I can leave the AC off. So the if statement give me an option to do two things, if a criteria. So the criteria is if the AC, if the room is warm, that is the criteria. So if it's true that the room is warm, I can turn on the AC. If it's false and the room is not warm, I can leave the AC off, right? So the similar thing with this. I have an if statement right here, so and it is saying if L5, remember L5 is the cell that the total number of visitors was in, right? Remember 1 to 7, that is the cell that the total number of visitors in. So if L5 is greater than or equal to 2, then I want it to display what is in the key sheet A7. This is the key sheet A7, which is studio. So this is basically saying if L5 is less than or equal to 2, display studio unit, studio suite. That's pretty much what this statement is saying. Let me say that again. The L5 here so is the total number of visitors. Total, the adult plus the children, the total, right? So this is saying if the total number of children is less than or equal to 2, then I want to display what is in key A7, because that would be studio, right? I want to go again and check for another one. I want to say if the CML5, which is the same number of guests, if it's less than or equal to 5, then I want it to display what is in key A5. A5 will be the deluxe, right? So I could go here again and I could say if L5 is greater than 5, which is 6 and 7, if it's greater than 5, display what is in A6. But I don't have to say if again, because if it's 3 options there, if it's not less than or equal to 2, and if it's not less than or equal to 5, then I need to ask again if it's greater than 7. It must be greater than 7. If it's not, so it's like if you're saying if a tree picked in the house and the sugar and the sweet is missing, if it's not you and it's not you, then it must be you. So if it's not child 1 and it's not child 2, then it must be child 3. So then I need to ask child 3 again. And most you do it. You understand? So this is what I'm saying. So if it's not this criteria for the studio, and if it's not this criteria for the deluxe, then I need to ask if again. I know say it must be, then it must be A6. Right? So when I press enter for this now, it's supposed to automatically calculate for me which room of these 3 rooms I want to be in. All right, so when I press enter, you see here, so it come up deluxe suite because there are 5 visitors in this room. Remember, I was saying if it's 2 or 1 visitor, then it's studio suite. If it's 5 or 4 or 3 visitor, then it's deluxe. If it's 7 or 6 visitors, then it's executive. So in this case, it was 5 visitors. Then the computer automatically put them in the lock suite, which is exactly what you want, right? So that's what we want to do. We want to write a formula. We will write the same formula going down for each of these, and it will automatically calculate it going down, right? Let me tell you from now. The truth is, there's an easier way to do this, but I don't want to show you the easier way. I want you to learn the hard way first. But you need to learn how to do this first, and then I can show you the easier way to do it. There's a much easier way to do it, right? And I'm going to show you that. But I have to know confidently that you understand this way, the straightforward way to do it, all right? So in this case, it came up as deluxe, all right? Because it's 5. Let's look at another one. Let's look at, let me not pick one random. Let's look at this one, all right? So we're looking at, we put it here, so because it's a 7 years old. So from what's the 7 years old, which room that person supposed to go in automatically? From your 7 visitors there, which room should that person go in? Yeah, who may I ask? From the 7 visitors here, so which room would they automatically go in?
Sir, can I go back one and see again? Sir, exclusives suite.
Executive, good. Executive suite. Executive suite. All right. So now if you remember now, see them here. So the studio is for 2 or 1. The deluxe is for 5, 4, or 3, and the executive is for 6 or 7. Right? So even though it's not in order, when you just type it out, you don't really have to in order, when you just type it out. Alright? So come we do this one. So right now we know the answer we're supposed to see. Right? So we just want to make sure we say it right. So we want equal if open bracket. Open bracket. For this one, we use L11 because we're in a column L and we're in row 11. Get that? So if L11 is greater than or equal to 2, comma, then we're going to the key run here somewhere. If L11 greater than 2, then we want to display what is in A7, comma, I will do the next if. So if, open bracket, if L11 is greater than or equal to 5, comma, then we want to display what is in this one, which is A5, which is deluxe suite, comma, and I will say if it's not 1 and it's not 1, then it must be the other. So we kind of put key A6 right there, so. Right? So we'll close the bracket for this. It should say that wrong. Let me get that. Yeah, so. Oh, greater than, sorry. It should be less than. If L11 less than or equal to 2, then A7. If L11 less than or equal to 5, then that and that. Right? So now we have the executive suite. Sorry, I made a mistake with that. All right. So let me see if we can type out just get a basic breakdown of what we want to display. Because it's important so to understand this. We're saying if should I write it here? So all right, more write it to us so that we can see it a little bit clearer. We're saying we want to say, give me a second. I just want to write out this so we can see it properly and clear. We're saying if total number of visitors is less than or equal to 2. So this I just want to type out the part that we have a cell address, but just want to type out what it is supposed to say. You know, this should make it a little bit easier for you to understand. So if not total number of visitors is less than or equal to 2, then studio suite. If total number of visitors less than or equal to 5, then deluxe suite. Otherwise, it is executive suite. And then because we have one two open bracket, we have 1 2 close bracket. So this is how it will look if we write it in our words. So if the total number of visitors less than or equal to 2, then they will stay in the studio suite. If the total number of visitors less than or equal to 5, then they stay in a deluxe suite. Otherwise, they stay in an executive suite. All right? But you just that instead of saying total number of visitors like this, we write the cell address that it is in. Right? Instead of saying studio suite here, so write the cell address. Yes.
Sir, a 2 bracket go the part.
But at the end,
Yes, sir.
yes, we can have one.
We
We can have one open bracket here, so and we have a next open bracket here, so. See them right here, so right here, so.
okay.
So yeah, so you have 2 right, so. So so you can write down this so that you understand what is supposed to be doing. Because bear in mind, when you start with your one, depending on where on the sheet, where I have my information on my sheet, that might not be the same place where you have the information on your sheet. So if you hear me say A11 on your sheet, it might be A13. So if you type the same exact thing what me have, they might not get it right. So you have to understand exactly what you're doing. All right? That's so confusing, but trust me.
So, sir, I forgot to create a key.
Again?
I forgot to create a key, sir.
Yeah, man. They make it far easier for you if you create the key.
Okay.
So you have to create the key. So you can screenshot my own if you want. You can create the key with this information. Just remember my dollar cost here, so then I think it's correct. So remember if you look back on the SBA sheet to see the exact amount of money that is supposed to be charging. I think we did not drop into figures here, so. But the layout, you want the layout. So you want to layout this, you want to layout the tax and your discount and everything. So you want to have it layout just like this. So you name it a key sheet. Alright? Let me do one more just to make sure so we're on the same. So we're good.
Sir, we can do one too.
Yo? I don't know if this is something I allow me to do. Again?
Sir, may I say we can make what I do one, sir, and see if we understand it fully.
That may I try to look if this thing I will allow you, if they can allow you to do it. No, you see if it was Zoom, I know say Zoom could allow me to do something like that. But I think Gmeet allow me to do something like that. I'm not seeing no option for allow me to do.
Oh, okay.
So we can get to do it only you all upon Zoom alone you can write on this.
That may I say, I think Zoom alone can allow me. Can I tell that good if we could allow you to do something then for sure. Alright? But the good thing is that you have your own AI that can go out, so you have a good. Right? I got the one more just to make sure more under the one with 6 right here. So okay again, right? So it's an equal if open bracket I will say L26 for this one because we're in L26 here. So say L26. Tell me what to put your sonics. Anybody tell me?
Sir, where's the sir?
Tell me what to put here. So after I say equal if L26, what else must I put? Look at your paper you have there. Supposed to write it down. Tell me what else must I put here, sir.
Sir,
Mm-hmm.
sir, you have greater
So you
than
have to put
equal,
the greater than sign and
equal,
equal.
When I put what? Tell me. L26 then what?
greater than equal,
So the less than sign.
A less than and a greater than. A less than. If it less than or
equal,
equal to what? Then what?
Sir, the two.
If it less than or equal to 2, remember the part, you know. If it less
Oh
than or
yes,
equal
sir.
to
And then you
2,
go put in.
comma,
then
sir.
comma, good, comma, then you go to sheet, and then which one you have to click on now? Which one of them you click on next?
Sir, the SS, the
The student,
students. Um,
right.
yes, sir.
Comma, what again? What will do next?
Sir, you go put if
And
again.
sir,
Mm-hmm.
Open bracket.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Total numbers of visitors again.
Yeah, but we sell we are. Tell me the cell address so I use. For this one, me I use. What me I do? I see it here now. The same one there here, so
Sir,
I use that.
L26. L26,
Right,
sir.
right. So L26, then what?
The less than
less
sign and
than
equal.
equal,
Less than or equal to
5,
5. Good.
comma,
Then, yeah.
comma.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go click on deluxe suite.
Deluxe.
Deluxe.
Excellent. All right. Then what next?
Yes. And then the comma
Mm-hmm.
and x the
Executive.
E1
Executive. Good. We'll put the two
executive.
brackets.
And then you put two comma, two bracket after it. So,
Excellent. So you see, come up here, so executive suite. Good. Wonderful. You understand? So at that, I'm guarantee you, when you start work on your, by the time you do the first 2 or 3, after that, you will breeze through it. You don't have no problem at all. So that was good. Just so that when you can get it, you won't have no problem. But that is good, all right? So by the time you reach a stage now, when you finish, it should look like this. So you're going to see a deluxe who are deluxe. You're going to see executive for who are executive. You don't know why I have so much deluxe right here, so I need to change my mind.
okay, sir. Sir, how so much name you have to have, sir?
30, yeah.
30 name.
30 names. I remember,
So, sir,
don't look on the number, don't look on don't look on the row number over here, so I stop at 30 right here, so you know. I remember you never start at 1, so if you start at row 5, it means that you have to end in row 34. And make sure so you count it properly and make sure so 30 means I have.
Okay,
All right?
sir.
All right, good. So that's
So,
excellent. Huh?
Some random name for put in, sir.
If what? Yeah, random name. Any name. Any set of names, any set of phone numbers, the reciter from man, then make sure so the correct region. You put in all right. You see with these check in and check out dates now, make sure it's realistic. So we're not gonna use a date for 1955 and something, right? So if we're in August, if we're in July 2021, make sure you date them in the region then, in the region of July 2021. All right. So nobody spread it out too far from 1955 from 2020 come up and then something. Make sure say all the dates within like June, July 2021. I have to make it look more realistic. All right?
Okay,
All right,
sir.
good. So what we'll just do, we'll just complete task 1. All right. So we're at task 2 now. So I'm just want to complete task 2 and then we can wrap up the class for today. All right. All right. So task 2 says copy the entire sheet to a new sheet called Reservation 2. So we'll copy everything that is on the current sheet that we're doing to a new sheet and we'll call it Reservation 2. All right. So let me show you quickly how we're doing that. So we have everything here, so what we need. We have our next set of sheets down here, so we're blank. So we want to use sheet 2 right here, so. All right. So we'll copy everything from Reservation 1 to Reservation 2. There are a couple of different ways can be. We can on the Reservation 1 down here, so on the tab down on the bottom right here, so we can right click on this, go to move or copy, and from move or copy we can select create a copy of Reservation. So we click the one we want to create a copy of, which is Reservation 1, and we can tick create a copy and OK. And that will create a next copy. So you have Reservation now, and you have the next Reservation. Right? So you could have do it like that, or let me delete back this one. We could have just copy everything. So we could have go up in the corner right here, so click the cell in the corner between the A and the 1. There's a little box up in here, so if you click that, it will select everything on the screen. And then you can just go to copy. Then you go to sheet 2. We want everything to go. Put the cursor back in the little corner right here, so and press paste. And it will copy everything. So all you need to do now is just rename sheet 2 to Reservation 2. All right. And don't worry, because I'm recording this now, and by later or before me leave, I will convert it from the recording and put it on the YouTube. So this is that first video I'm showing you the other day, I can put it on that channel and then we send you the link. So anything you're not understanding right now, you have a chance to watch it back later on the YouTube channel. All right, so no worries. All right, so now we have everything on Reservation 2, so we can continue. So it's saying insert an appropriate worksheet heading in an appropriate position formatted using font size 20 and a font heading of your choice. Insert an appropriate worksheet heading in an appropriate position formatted using font size 20 and a font style of your choice. All right, so this is this up here, so talking, right? So I went ahead and did it, but let me just delete all of them to make sure so I can show you all things. All right, so you are going to create a heading for yourself. You're going to name this resort. You're going to get the name of resort, a nice resort. All right, I'm going to name mine, but boy, you name your own. Be creative. Please be creative. Don't be too predictable and too common. So don't go name your resort after other people's resorts. So I don't want nobody name there was Sanders or Rio or not like that. Be creative, all right? Make up a name, make up something else, be creative. Because whatever name you use here, so for this part, if we have to use it again when we get to Microsoft Word, if we have to use it again when we're creating the website, all right? So make sure that it's a name that makes sense, all right? Don't be lazy. So if you name Harris, don't just say Harris Resort. That's lazy. All right? Be creative and make up something decent. All right? So for my own, I want to name mine Zayamba Resort. That's my own. Right? The SBA said that I must put this in font size 20. And I can find a different style. So I can find a next style writing to put it in. You see with this now, sometimes what might look good to you, you need to make sure that it's readable. So you might look at this and say, yeah, this looks nice, but when I look at it, I can't read it. I don't know what this is saying, right? So apart from looking attractive, it must be readable as well, All right, so I'm just going to pick something simple for my purposes. Maybe I'll be here when I can make up something interesting. All right, next thing, I want this heading to center across the spreadsheet, across the entire sheet right here. So, all right, a lot of time I see people just click in the cell and they start space until they go over. All right, you can't do that. So what you're going to do is, I want to merge. You know what I mean by merge? To combine. I want to merge. I want to merge all of these cells up on the top here, so merge all of them into one cell. See that? And then I can center it in there. All right, let me do that again. I'm going to click in cell A, put an N, M, all the way over, and then I can look up at the top here, so the icon called merge and center. So when I click merge and center, what I have typed here is going to center in the box and it will become like one cell. So I like these on here so you can see an individual cell still. The one up here, so is one cell. And I can do it again down here, so. And I want to say, I want to call this reservation sheet. And I can center it as well. All right, so this is my heading. You're going to be creative and make up your own heading. If you're going to put a color in this, make sure that the color is appropriate. You don't want anything bright or loud. So you're not going to do something like this. You can't do something like that. Then bright red there, then color there. All right, you need to be conservative and modest. So you want something look calming, peaceful, but still professional. Something like that, this can work. All right? So this can be a heading. And if any other sheet that you have, you're going to create a heading like this. So if I am on the key sheet, so I can block this and copy it. If I'm on the key sheet, I can just paste it as well. So every sheet should have a heading looking like that. All right? In addition to that, I want you to have a logo. So I'm going to show you a quick how you're going to find a logo. From Google, just you kind of type resort logo, right? And it's going to give you millions and millions of different logos to choose from. Look for something that is appropriate and that looks good and that will match into whatever you are doing, right? Images. Just look for something, anything. All right, so something simple. I'm going to pick this one. So I can click on this, right click, copy it, and I'm going to paste it. Into my spreadsheet like this. So let's copy and paste it into the spreadsheet. Yeah.
Sir, can I use one PNG, sir?
You can use a what?
PNG, sir, like to take off the background.
Yeah, man. Yeah. No problem. If you're familiar with that stuff, then no problem. I'm just going to tell you, so this is a white background, so it might not be able to use, but good. If you know if you don't have something there, no problem. That will work. All right. So this is what I'm talking. When you say to create a heading, this is what I talk about. And the logo that you have here. So again, any other space in the SBA that you're going to be creating this heading, you're going to have to bring the logo with it too. So make sure that it's something good looking that can work throughout your SBA. All right. Next question. On the reservation worksheet, insert the following column headings: adult costs, children costs, group costs. So what this is asking now is they want to know how much the adult is going to pay, how much the child is going to pay, how much collectively they're going to pay. So on the reservation sheet, insert the following column headings: adult costs, children costs, group costs. All right. So it means that over here, so somewhere, adult costs, that was right. Adult costs. Group costs. Good. So these are 3 additional headings that I have just put on. Calculate.
Sir,
Yeah.
this would be for the second reservation, right, sir?
Reservation 2 where I work with now,
Oh, yes, sir.
which is this. So it's task 2. So we're looking at task 2 for reservation 2. All right. And it says, all right, so for the next one, it says for D now, it says on a new worksheet called key, insert the key that will store the figures to be charged for the adult per day, the tax, and the discount. So we did this already. On a new worksheet called key, where they create the key sheet already, insert the key that will store the figures to be charged for the adult and the discount and the tax. All right. So we did this key sheet already. So that what is saying here is this. What you just we did it already. So we're not for what we said. All right. So once we did that, we do D. So we are at, so we say we copied this already. We created the heading already. We put in these 2 headings, adult costs, children costs, and group costs already. I will create the key. So already with us to A, B, C, and D. So we're at the last part of task 2, which is this. Perform the necessary calculations to complete the newly added column in C, which is the adult costs and the children costs. Right? So we're going to put in some sort of function or formula here now to calculate the adult costs and the children costs. Right? On our key run here, so we already have the cost per adult and per child based on the room that they're in. Right? So based on the room that they're in, we already know the cost that they're supposed to pay. So we know we have to identify a function that will allow us to, on the main sheet, look at which room they are in and compare to what is around here, so, and give us the correct cost. So for that one, we're going to be looking at a VLOOKUP. So we're going to say equal, again, write this down, VLOOKUP, open brackets. So with the VLOOKUP, it's asking 3 things. 3 things the VLOOKUP one. It's asking what you're looking for, where you want to look, and what you want to display. All right? So this is asking me what to look for, comma, where to look, comma, which column to display. That is what it's supposed to. That's what it's asking me. All right? But this is going to be in one straight line. I'm going to break it down so make it easier to understand. So this VLOOKUP is saying it have 3 parts. What to look for, comma, where to look, comma, and which column to display, and the close bracket. So we're going to apply this now to the spreadsheet. So write down this quickly. Write it down quickly, and I'm going to show you the exact formula quickly. All right, finish right stuff. Can change it now to finish right stuff. I ain't nobody that. So if you're the right stuff, at least screenshot it so you know exactly what you need to be doing. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. So back over here. So on the reservation tool sheet. So on the adult costs. So first we say what we're looking for. So we say equal because what we're doing here is we need to know which room based on this, based on the key. So we have the cost here. So the only way we're going to know what each person will be going to be charged is based on the room that they're in. So once you know the room that they're in, then we know exactly what to charge. So if we're in the adult part, and we know which room that they're in, we know exactly what to charge them. If we're looking at children, and we know which room they're in, we know exactly what to charge them. All right. So the first part of the VLOOKUP says equal V lookup, open brackets. All right. Then it says what you're looking for. In this case, I am looking for the room type. So I can click in at the room type here, so which is M5. Get that? The M5 is what I am looking for. Comma, where do I want to look? I want to look on the key sheet. So I can look all the way to the key sheet here, so. And I want to look at all of these because all of these is what is comparing. Sorry. So all of this is what is comparing. So you said key A5 to D7. So this is all of where. And now, what is the third one? What is the third one this say? But the third part of the VLOOKUP something you just write down. No man. There's something I'm just show you for right on the screen. It says what you're looking for, where you're looking, and then what? What the third part?
Oh, sir, which column display?
Which column to display. So right here, so we just display, where we're looking is A5 to D7, which is all of this. Right? Let me go back to that show. All right. Which is all of this. So this is when we select all of this. So we select from A5 to D7. How much column this in arm we just select right here. So how many columns are right here? So anybody? How much columns?
Four.
4. So this is 1,
4.
this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4 columns. Good. So in the comma part now, I need to tell it, the next part now, I need to tell it which one of the columns I want to display. So which one of the columns here so have the price per adult? Which one of the columns have the price? Third column, which is 3. So I can just put third column. So I can just put 3 right there. So the 3 right there, so means that it is going to show me what is in the price for the third column. So I can close the bracket, right? So when I press enter now, you see, it shows me exactly the deluxe suite, the adult cost for $15,000. Let me just check and make sure. So the deluxe suite was $15,000. Yes, so that is correct. You get that? So that is exactly what we want to display. Right? So look on the formula now. See if you need to write it down to make sure so you understand it. Let me just widen it down. Write it down, make sure so you understand it. VLOOKUP M5, which is what I want. Key A5 to D7 is where I want to look. And then the 3 is the column we want to display. Write down that and make sure you get it so that when you start work on year 1, you won't have an issue. All right. So when I press enter now, it showed me the 15,000. But it's not finished yet because this is one adult. These are the cost per adult. See it here? Per adult. So these are the cost per adult. These are the cost per child. How now, if we know the cost per adult, how would I find out now the overall adult cost? How am I going to find out that? Anybody? If I know the cost for one adult, I'll never know the cost for all of them. Anybody can answer that. Right in front of them. Right in front of them. You have to add up, you know. I'm not going to add up. All right. How much for this first person we had here? So, how many adults are in that room?
Yeah, 5.
Two adults. See, 2 adults, right? So if you know it's 2 adults and each of them are pay $15,000, how much money them are pay for the adults overall?
30,000.
30,000, right? So we can add that to the end of this. So in the same Vlookup here, so after the close bracket, we can just say times J5. J5 are the number of adults. So it's a times J5, and that will be in 30,000, right? So that. We'll try our next one. We'll try this one. Let's go again. So that's an equal V lookup. Yeah, man. Equal V lookup, open bracket. So we say for 3 things, remember what I look for, what you're looking for, where you're looking, and the column where you want to display. So what we're looking for is the room type. So click on the room type, comma, where we're looking in key sheet, and we're selecting all of the 3 items and all of the costs and costs, and comma, and then thirdly, which column we want to display. In this case, we want to display column 3. Well, that's not. Let's do that. We want to display column 3, right? And close the brackets and enter. So when that come up, you can just times number of adults and enter. All right. Same thing for the children. We'll try the children one now. Same process. So we say equal V lookup, open bracket. Now we're going with the number of children. So what we're looking for is the room type, comma, where we're looking again in the same A5 to B7, comma, which column now we're using in this case now. Which column we're using from this?
The 4th column.
Column 4, excellent. Column 4. Once you close your bracket, you'll see the amount for the child. And then we can just times that by number of children. All right, so it's like you're paying for this first person paying 30,000 for the adults, 21,000 for the children. Next question now, what will be the group cost? How you calculate the group cost?
So I got it 30%. It's 21,000.
Right, excellent. You can just add, so you can just say equal N5 plus O5 and enter. Right, and you get 51,000. Or you know what, if you say that, you could have said equal sum open bracket, and you just block the 2 of them like this. N5 to O5 and closing bracket. Enter. You get the same amount. All right. So once you understand these parts, as you can see, it gets repetitive. But as you go through, the more you repeat it, the more you understand it. And then before you know it, you're done. Sorry. All right. I'm gonna finish this one part and then we can look it over, make sure so we have everything. And we're supposed to go. Alright. Remember now, all of these here so are money. All of them something are money, right? So you have to make sure that them have dollar sign on them, right? So and you don't type on the dollar sign, you have to format it. So it's like the adult costs and the group costs have it, but the children costs don't have it. So you just block everything, or block the ones that don't have it, you just block everything, so sure. And you go to up here, so there's a number here, so you can change the number type, you can change it to currency, and that will put on the dollar sign and everything. All right. So at this point, you should be here, so. So for here, so now, you should have your heading, you should have your logo, you should have your group cost, your child cost, your adult cost, and your room. So this is all I will do today. Yeah.
Sir, so like right where you have all of the information, sir. So we can collect to sir like add the sales style.
Then here, sir?
Yes, sir. Like color the page, like the information.
Guess what happened now? May I try to teach you how to do it in the professional way, you know? Because if you're going on the business world, if you're going to a bank or anywhere you work, they're not going to call out for them because they want to can see the information clearly. Because when you start color it now, it start become dazzling, especially if you look at, because this allows 30 people, you know. In the real world, if you have this running at a real hotel, you'll be probably looking at a couple hundred, probably not 1,000 reservations here. So you see, if you have a whole color thing in front of you, but you start scroll through 1,000 of them, it start dazzle their eye. You understand? So then they really practice to use the color. But tell you what, if you want to use it, make sure that it's appropriate. Make sure it's not dazzling or too bright or anything like that. Make sure it's some simple basic colors. And then when you send it to them, you can tell you if it's appropriate or not. All right? All right. So quickly, can we just refresh quickly what we go through? First of all, let me just point this out clear. Yeah, I'm soon tell you the email address. Before we go further, let me just point out some things here, all right? You see with these things when you're doing an SBA, first thing, I've been teaching this for over 10 years, right? So it's when students cheat, but no one them cheat. It's when people, a lot of time when students do that, they do one work and then they send it to their friend, and then their friend claims it for them own. I've been doing this for over 10 years. You can look at one work and know say somebody else's work. But don't try that. All right. You see, if you do that, you'll fall in that case when called plagiarism. You take people work and copy it and claim it to be your one. That's plagiarism. And right away when you do that, you can get a straight 0 and you can just disqualify you from the work together. All right. Do your own work. We have enough time, do your own work. Next thing people are going to try.
Remember next question, sir.
One.
Sir, so if I want, we can like change up, fix up the information, sir. Sir, hold on. May I go explain on me? Alright, sir. So say you have the region behind the phone, the telephone number, sir. You can put the region in front of the telephone number.
Okay, you have the region here, so if you can put it in front of it. Yeah, man.
Oh, alright, sir. Thanks.
As long as it's still flowing. So you know, make sure you don't put like the telephone number in front of the name because your name's supposed to start it. So as long as you don't mix it up too much. You can be creative, but does not mix it up too much. Get me? Alright. Next thing, what me normally see students do, and I think them all can get through this, is when if you look on my screen here, so I can go here so I can type in come on. I can type Vlookup suite and I can type in the amount of money here, so and I can type in. So a lot of students, when they get lazy and they don't want to use the functions, we're going to show now for the if statement and the Vlookup, and template for those go here and type it in. But when you say, when you look on it, you know, once you type it in, you can't see the difference because it looks like it was done by computer for do. don't it? But when I get it to mark, remember what to like this, and it's going to show me all of the formulas that you're using. And as you can see, you're going to see formulas coming down here, so, and if you right here, so you're going to see that this information was typed in. So you see, if you try skip it or shortcut it and not type in the information and don't use the formulas, I'm going to know. Bear in mind, you're being marked for the formulas and the functions that you use. You understand? So if you're using this again.
So say you could just pass now and make it go.
You get marked for the function and you use. See, when we do this now, I say you use equal sum and you get a mark for that, you get a mark for the Vlookup, you get a mark for the if statement, you get a next mark for that. If you look here, so I just see type in something here, so you can make a statement, no problem with that, you know. You just never get a mark for it. You understand?
But
so if you want shortcut start,
just drop asleep and say you want to sleep, and just be in.
No, if you drop asleep, if you drop asleep, you wait till you wake up and you finish. You don't work while you're asleep. You work while you're asleep, you're going to fail. You understand? So when you wake up back, you do it properly. So if you do this, as I say, that's a simple thing. You're going to look on it and think it's good. You're going to take one look on it and you're going to know, say, how that you do. And you're going to just automatically lose the mark. All right? So don't give away your mark then. So right now we are here, so. I'm going to figure suppose you can do this with ease. Fix up a page, you're supposed to can. It's like some of these columns where the name of the column is very wide, but information in it is very narrow. So for these, you can just double click and put the cursor between there, so, and press Alt or Enter. Yeah, and you can bring it in like that. So that then have so some of them columns were so wide, then I have it so wide. I just have to make the spreadsheet really drawn out. All right, so this is where we are. So we have completed. Where am I? We have completed task 1 and task 2 from this class. All right, the email address that I want you to send it to is going to be INNSWOOD Infotech SBA at Gmail. I think that is it.
They're all caps.
No matter. Into the Infotech SBA at Gmail. Yeah, into the Infotech SBA at Gmail. Right. So these are the email address that you send it to. Let me see. Tonight Thursday, we can work on this over the weekend. But I expect to see this by anywhere from Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday we can have our next class where we can go through the other parts. Remember, so that's some other parts we do. Right? So on Monday, we're going to go through task 3 and task 4. And if we can move fast enough by Monday, we're supposed to finish this whole spreadsheet section. Right? So we're not in like a whole heap of work in it. Right? So just get to it as soon as possible. See if you can finish it by Sunday and send it to me so we can give you some feedback. If you're using a tablet or a laptop, sorry, a tablet or a phone to do it, you can send it to my number as well, so we can look on it, right? And we can get some feedback from there as well, if you know our email. So either way, as long as we can see it, we can get some feedback, we can know if you're on the right track or whatever the case is, and send it back to you. All right, anybody have any question at this point before we finish?
No, sir.
All right, everybody understand what is to be done, so they can go ahead and get it done by Sunday, by early Monday, so that Monday we can have the second class to finish, task 3 and task 4.
Sir,
Mm-hmm.
what you say? I will do the video on YouTube, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna post it. If it can finish now, me do it now. If not, when I reach home, I'm gonna try to do it now and post it now.
Sir, and upon the InZone school channel?
No, not the Inwood one. I have a different one. When I send it to you, receive it. Name teaching them infotech. Teaching them the EM infotech. So me put it on that one. So me just send the link directly and you can find it. All right?
All right.
All right, take care.